Today, we were able to get both victims down to the medical examiner's office, and they performed their normal autopsies and determined the manner of death was a homicide. From that point, we took our investigation, into a slightly different area and began to explore any and all avenues that would help us figure out what had happened and how that came about.
Cause of death released?
No, it's not.
And what's going on at the scene now? We noticed dogs and detectives.
So what's going on right now, you have a couple of our crime scene folks down there, and they are mapping the crime scene. So we're going to be able to recreate that in the future should we need to.
We were told from victims' friends they're homeless. Can you confirm that?
Our last known addresses for both victims showed that they did live in Bangor, but they had a transient status. So I don't have a physical address for them right now.
Would you then qualify them as having been homeless?
It would appear that way.
It appears you're asking for the public's help in your press release.
Yeah.
What do you want to get out there tonight?
Generally the same as what we usually do. If anybody has any information about this case that would be helpful to our investigators, people who may have seen or heard something, people who know something directly about the case, we ask that they would call here. The lead investigator is Detective Jeremy Brock. Call the police department and ask for his extension. You can leave him a voicemail. And we also have a tip line option if someone feels like calling that and just leaving a tip as well.
Are you guys looking at one suspect or investigating multiple?
The case is ongoing. We're investigating everything. There is, we leave no stone unturned, I guess you could say. But as far as suspect information, I can't speak about that at this time.
Do you know how the victims knew each other?
I don't. I do have reason to believe that they did know each other, but I'm not sure about the total nature of their relationship.
I didn't see all the press releases. Did you release sexes or ages or any kind of things like those things?
We did. Mr. Bridges was 43 years old, and Miss York was 36, I believe.
Were they inside that truck? Is that what they were discovered?
Yes, sir.
Did they get
in the box.
How did they get into the truck?
That is still under investigation. I suspect right through the back door.
You said you had past addresses for them in Bangor. Have they been in Bangor long, or are they from Maine?
I don't have the answer to that right now.
Can you say for sure what they were doing in the truck, or is there any information?
At this time, I can't speak to that. It's a possibility in the coming days that we might have more information that we can release about this, but just not right now.
Should the public be worried? Is there any danger to the public right now?
That's a good question. Right now, we have no information suggesting that anybody else in the public is at danger right now.
And do you know the cause of death and just aren't releasing it, or do they need more tests to determine the cause of death?
Well, there will still be ongoing testing at the medical examiner's office, as far as I know, but right now, we're just not going to speak about what we think or assume the cause of death is at this time.
Thank you.
Had you ever had any dealings with either of these two people in the past?
We have had contact with both of these individuals in the past.
What was the manner of those dealings?
I can't get into that at the current time.
Do you know of any prior criminal histories?
I am not certain of that, other than to say that, as a police agency, we have had contact with both of the deceased victims.
Does it look like they might have started the fire themselves, either to try to keep warm, or what was the manner in which you observed the scene?
Well, it did happen last night. I actually wasn't there. That I don't really have a definite answer for you on, but my understanding was the truck was engulfed in flames when first responders got there.
Was the truck in use? Had people been coming and going? Was somebody using it for their business, or was it just parked there?
Yeah, I don't have the answer to that either. I think the vehicle is related to or owned by one of the businesses in the plaza, and they normally park vehicles there, but I'm not sure if it was currently in use or if it was abandoned or broke down.
Do you know where in the truck they were found? There's a gash in the side if you go down there. Is that just where the fire department cut into it, or is that where they were?
A lot of that damage is fire related, but I'm not certain on exactly where in the truck they were found.
Their last address in Bangor, do you know when?
I don't, sorry, I don't have that information yet.
As it appears that they might have been homeless, I've heard that there are often homeless encampments down in that area. Is that true? Do police go down there fairly frequently?
That is correct. That is behind the railroad tracks, along the river's edge. That is one of the places where we've had a lot of homeless and transient activity in the city historically. And yeah, we do make it a habit to check on those encampments and check on people, especially during the summer and late fall before the winter months come.